Right, many weeks go by, eternity for all it matters. It's not the same as the day I started or the residual energy that was following it. Today I had, I guess, freedom. I got my shit together instead of spending 4 hours walking around with my head up my ass. I actually went room to room, had a plan. That's the whole thing with everyone. You give us some kind of direction and we're good to go. It's those moments alone when there's no direction that's where shit sets in, and the outside world we let become a detriment. Doesn't matter what it is, it's a detriment that creates our low mental health. So I like a bunch of books I read, Gap in the Gain. It's either a gap in your life or it's a gain. Turn it into a positive is the mantra. But Sean Webb, it's an equation. You have your expectations, the way you expect things to go, and then along with that there is a preference. We prefer it to go this way. Have expectations that could go shitty. So, I'm expecting this to go shitty. Then we have preference for it to not. Well, when that happens, then it depends on our perspective to see if it's happening. That's a very cool thing, is we have our perception. So if all three of these match, then we have an emotional reaction. Usually, I'll explain it the way it usually is. Good expectation. I expect to go to school today. My preference is to get there on time. So with our expectation and our preference, we're going to school. Okay, we could be caught in traffic. Our perception is it's traffic, it's okay. We get a flat tire. All depends on your perspective, how you perceive things when it happens. So if that happens to be a negative, then we have an emotional reaction. And whatever that emotional reaction is, our emotion is negative from perceiving something that we had an expectation to go good and a preference for it to also go good. So if they both go negative, then yes. If we have it on the negative side, then, it depends. If all three line up, your expectation, your preference, and then your perception, then you have your emotional reaction. So if they don't, then it's all good. You don't perceive it as bad, then no big deal. We're taking the perception out of this right now. You have to perceive it as something. Is it a gap or is it a gain? Alright, so that's kind of Sean Webb. I should send the video with this, but I like explaining it in my words. That way I know how it works in my head, and hopefully it comes across to you too. So if you decide to watch this, mahalo. Fred Hayhead.